Hi everyone, welcome back to the US individual taxation classes enroll agent part 1. This particular class or this particular video is in continuation of the previous topic deductions, which we have started, standard deduction and itemized deduction. In this video we'll be doing some practice question on the deduction. So let's dive into to do some practice. So we are in chapter 3, deductions and credit. So we are done with itemized deduction. Tomorrow we'll be starting with the credits. Okay, Thomas filed a form 1040NR in 2021. Which of the following item cannot be deducted as itemized deduction in his 2021 return? What he cannot claim as itemized deduction? First one is state and local income tax withheld from the taxpayer's salary during 2021 on income connected with US trade or business. Second is losses related to exempt income connected with the non-US business in 2021. Deduction apportioned to the income connected with the US business in 2021. Last one is contribution given to the US organization that are religious, charitable, educational, scientific purpose. So which one is not allowed as itemized deduction?
Option 2 लग रहा है सर.
Option 2. How about others? Vivek, Sachin, Divya, Garima.
सर सेकंड ठीक लग रहा है सर.
क्यों? Why?
क्योंकि लॉस जो रिलेटेड है ये एग्जाम्प्ट इनकम से कनेक्शन है इसका. तो जब इनकम एग्जाम्प्ट है तो उसका लॉसेस फिर अलाउड नहीं करेगी.
What is the question?
हाँ जी.
What is the question? What is the call of the question? Read the question again carefully.
Items cannot be deducted as an itemized deduction on his 2021 return. तो जो इनकम ही एग्जाम्प्ट है फिर उससे रिलेटेड लॉसेस को वो अलाउड नहीं होगा आइटम एज एन आइटमाइज्ड डिडक्शन. इस करके मुझे लग रहा है कि ये ठीक है.
लाइक जैसे ये 1040 एनआर फाइल कर रहा है मींस वो नॉन रेजिडेंट एलियन हुआ ना. तो सेकंड ऑप्शन का मतलब कि उसकी जो बाहर की इनकम है लाइक ग्लोबल इनकम या समथिंग से जो सर लॉसेस है तो वो क्लेम नहीं कर सकता उसके ऊपर इनकम.
मयंक, दिव्या, रजत. Any thought? Divya, Rajat, Garima, Mayank.
So I'm thinking, sir.
Yeah, Rajat, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Which one you feel might be correct? Come on, guys, be fast.
Sir, second option.
Why?
So because itemized deduction is basically include that amount we paid in the state or as a local income or like within the state only.
What all comes under the itemized deduction? What all categories comes under the itemized deduction? You guys are not doing revision. Even though I'm going so slow, but still most of you are not doing revision. That's not good. Mayank, have you done the revision? Divya, Rajat, have you guys done the revision of last class or like this chapter? Yeah, Rajat, have you done the revision?
No, sir.
Why none of you are revising? Mayank, Divya?
Sir, not really, sir. Was busy with the
Why?
mixing.
It won't take like we just cover 5, 6, 7 pages.
Like
We don't cover too much. I'm going really very slow.
yes,
If you guys can't do this like at the max, if you invest 30 to 40 minutes in a week, you're good with the revision. So if you can't invest 30, 40 minutes, then how are you gonna crack the exam? Garima, you have also not revised anything. That's correct. Like losses related to exempt income with a non-US business should not be included. If you see the explanation, Form 1040 NR provide that a person filing from this include only those deduction and losses properly allocated and apportioned to the income effectively connected with a US trade or business. So non-US trade or business income and expenditure should not come here. A person, however, does not include deduction or losses that relate to the exempt income or to the income that is not effectively connected with the US trade or business, right? So the state or local income taxes withheld by the taxpayer salary during 2021 is the income generated in the US, right? Same way, contribution given to the US organization that are religious, charitable, educational, institute in purpose are deductible. And last one, as a result, almost cannot include itemized deduction losses related to exempt income, which is non-US business. Make sense, everyone? Or you still have any doubt on this question? Yes, no, say anything, please.
No, sir.
Okay, next question. Which of the following statement is not true regarding the documentation requirement of charitable contribution? So what are the documentation requirement? Just keep that in mind and then read the option. First option is a non-cash contribution of less than $250 must be supported by the receipt of other written acknowledgement from the charitable organization. Second is a contribution charged to credit card in cash. I think this is we have just covered.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, which one is right answer? Which option is right? We have just covered this. When it was, bold.
Option 1 है 250 से ज्यादा.
When it was bold, you all have given like quick answer. But here, why you guys are not giving answer?
So second option only, sir.
Huh? So here, when we have done this question, you all have given really quick answers. But what happened here? Why are we not able to figure out the right answer? I have given you hint also. Yes, Mr. Rajat.
Option one, if it's less than 250, whether it may be cash or whether it's maybe like some other kind, we do not need the acknowledgement.
Huh? Mayank, Rajat, Garima, Vivek. This is exactly the same question which we have done. Rajat, can you read all the 4 options for the benefit of everyone?
The first option says a non-cash contribution of less than $250 must be supported by a receipt or other written acknowledgement from the charitable organization. The second option is a contribution charged to a credit card is a cash contribution for purposes of documentation requirements. Third option says if the total deduction for all cash contributions for the year is more than $500, Section A of Form 8283, non-cash charitable contributions must be completed. Option 4 says a deduction of more than $1,000 for one property item generally requires that a written appraisal to be obtained and attached to the return.
Yeah, which one should cover? Which one is not true? See this. Read this carefully. Documentation and non-cash contribution para. Yeah, Garima, can you read this for me?
Sure, sir. From the non-deductible contribution,
Documentation, from the documentation.
the contribution made more than $250, taxpayer must maintain the record and written acknowledgement from the charitable organization. The non-cash contribution is divided into two. First is property that has 3 subparts. Less than $5,000, no qualified appraisal required. Second, must file Section A of Form 8283. Second, more than $5,000 require qualified appraisal. Second, must file Section B of Form 8283. Then third, more than $500,000 require qualified appraisal report along with the return. Second, must file Section B of Form 8283. Then the second option, other than property, more than $500, file Form 8283.
So now which one looks right? Which one looks incorrect out of these 4?
Sir, I'm confused in second and fourth.
What is second? A contribution charged to a credit card as cash contribution for the purpose of documentation. So what is the problem here? So whether you are making payment through credit card, debit card, or cash is one of the same thing. That's what they are saying. Is it true to say or is it not true to say?
Not,
Huh?
I'm not, sir. No, sir.
Why?
Because sir, it's all the same if you have made the payment of cash, and I'm basically confused in second and fourth, sir.
I am confused between first and fourth.
Why?
Because The first one, when we read the documentation, it said more than $250. Here it is saying less than $250.
So non-cash contribution of less than 250. Here we have written
More than
contribution
250.
made more than 250. Taxpayer must maintain. Okay. Now it's better.
Yes, sir.
So which one?
First, unknown cash.
Come on, don't delay your
Deduction. Sir, can you go on that notes again?
1 minute.
Sir, can you go back to the question?
Sir, option 4.
Why?
Sir, because it is mentioned that more than $5,000 for one property item generally required for a written appraisal to be obtained.
Say that again. More than?
Sir, more than $5,000 for one property item generally required for the written appraisal to be obtained.
Okay. Mayank, Vivek.
So, like, where it's written about the second point. Like, about the
Sir,
second, where it's written.
सर फर्स्ट नॉट ट्रू लग रहा है सर फर्स्ट पॉइंट
Why?
सर उसमें लिखा हुआ है ना कि अगर आपकी कंट्रीब्यूशन $250 से ज्यादा $250 से ज्यादा है तो आपको उसमें रिकॉर्ड करना होगा और एक्नॉलेजमेंट करना होगा, रिटर्न एक्नॉलेजमेंट देना होगा। तो इसमें नॉन कैश नहीं कह रहा है, लेस देन में कह रहा है, ये वो कह रहा है मोर देन, और वहां पे लेस देन बोल रहा है।
Read this again, sir.
कैश कंट्रीब्यूशन
But just 5 minutes ago, you all guys have given correct answer to this question. But what has changed? Exactly same question we are dealing. Vivek, Sachin? Exactly this question we are dealing. So why you guys are so confused? Mayank?
और सर एक्चुअल में वो नॉन कैश वर्ड लिख रहा है उसमें,
So this is
और उसमें जो अभी क्वेश्चन करा है उसमें भी नॉन कैश ही लिख रहा है।
exactly this question.
मैं एक्चुअल में कैश,
you guys have just did this question 5 minutes back, but I don't know like why you got so confused in just 5 minutes, because it is not bold over there. Here you can see it's bold, so that may be the right answer. That's not the right way. Rajat, Vivek? Got it. So please look at the answer also. Cash contribution include those paid in cash, check, electronic fund transfer, debit card, credit card, or payroll. Mayank, you got your answer? Cash contribution include credit card also.
Yes.
They also include out-of-pocket expense when services are donated. For contribution made in cash, the record that the taxpayer must keep depend on whether the contribution is less than $250 or if contribution is greater than or equal to $250, then he need to maintain the record. For each cash contribution, regardless of the amount, a taxpayer cannot deduct the contribution unless the taxpayer has one of the following: the bank record, the receipt, the payroll deduction, right? And then in case of non-cash contribution less than $250, the taxpayer must get and keep the receipt. If you're giving any non-cash contribution, you must be keeping the receipt of it. Letter or written communication from charitable organization showing this. If you want, I can add this to your notes, so that may be helpful for your future reference. Right. Hope this will be helpful. Right, is this better now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Alberta and Archie, wife and husband, okay, had water damage in their home during 2021 that ruined the furniture in their basement. The following items were completely destroyed and were not salvageable. Their homeowner insurance policy had a $10,000 deductible for the personal property, which was deducted from their insurance reimbursement of $12,700. Their adjusted gross income of 2021 was $30,000. What is the amount of casualty loss that Alberta and Archie can claim on their joint return? So can they claim any casualty loss? First question is that. Looking at the fact, first question is, can they claim casualty loss? If yes, then how much?
Sir, there is no casualty, right? From the natural processes. So it is a personal.
So if it is a personal loss, can they claim it?
No, sir, no.
No, I don't think so.
So personal not, I guess.
Right? Because it's a personal expenditure, not a disaster, which is being approved by the president. Next question, Robin, an employee, had the following unreimbursed employee expense in 2021. So these are unreimbursed employee expense. $100 professional license renewal, $75 subscription to the professional journal, $500 business liability insurance. Her adjusted gross income is $40,000. What net amount can Robin deduct? Robin is an employee, and these are the expenses he has incurred.
ऑप्शन 4 लग रहा है
675. How?
सर इनको भी तीनों के तीनों एक्सपेंसेस उसके like related to profession है and he can claim like a reimbursement on that.
How about others? Mayank, Rajat. Garima, Divya.
सर like सारे अमाउंट ऐड करके $800 से तो कम है सर like
Sorry.
sir like $100 $175 and $500 all are like less or we calculate so it will comes like $675.
But is this all allowable expense for him?
No, exactly sir, like her adjusted gross income was 40 and 2% will calculate.
How much is 2%?
40 calculate. Calculate. I'm calculating.
Shall I calculate for you? So you are saying
2% of AGI we take. So sir, it is 675. So and it's like then no I like if it's less than 800, so we'll take the lesser amount. So it is 0 or something.
How about others? Vivek, Sachin, Mayank.
ये इधर 0 आना चाहिए.
Why?
क्योंकि इसमें प्रोफेशनल लाइसेंस रिन्यूअल है तो वो क्या डिडक्ट तो नहीं होता. डॉलर सब्सक्रिप्शन फॉर प्रोफेशनल जर्नल ये तो अलग चीज हो. तो 0 आना चाहिए.
Okay. Garima, Divya, Rajat, Sachin.
सर 0 लग रहा है मुझे भी.
So Sachin and Vivek is on a view of 0.
Sir, I'm also
Mayank
0.
and Shubham.
0 sir, 0.
0 sir.
0.
Sir,
Majority is 0.
क्योंकि सर like 800 से less है सर.
That's right. So in part, the taxpayer can no longer claim miscellaneous itemized deduction. So earlier, before 2017, some miscellaneous deduction were allowed. But now, after TCJA Act, that's not allowed. Right? So include any unreimbursement expense of the employee. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So these unreimbursement expenses, earlier, there was like, before 2017, they were allowed up to 2% of the AGI. But after this TCJA Act, that exemption has been withdrawn. So now it's not allowed. Alona is a student and her personal car was destroyed by tornado, May 2021. It was found several days later, several damages. The decrease in fair market value was $3,500. In addition, a personal laptop computer in a car at the time was never recovered. The fair market value was 500, also less than her adjusted basis. The area was declared as a federal disaster. So here it is declared as a federal disaster area. What is the amount and treatment of the casualty loss considering $100 minimum floor but before the AGI limitation? How much amount she should deduct? $100 for each casualty need to be adjusted. What is the total casualty loss?
$4,000 है sir, 4,000.
4,000.
So 4,900 is
Sorry?
$4,000.
नहीं, आंसर नहीं है. टोटल जो कैजुअलिटी लॉस हुआ है उसको 4,000 हुआ है.
Sir, 3,500 होगा and market value 500 at 4,000. And sir, the last one, considering the $100 minimum floor, I guess it will be minus.
So what should be the amount?
3,900, sir.
3,900. Okay. Garima, Divya, Vivek.
Yes, 3,900.
3,900.
Yeah.
Lock कर दें.
Yes, sir.
Yep, got it right. Right, $100 for each casualty loss need to be reduced. So casualty is the disaster, right? In that you have the total loss of $4,000. So $1,000 need to be adjusted as a floor. Right? So luckily we got all the right answer. But if you see, if you do 6 minutes for one question, then you are not able to complete the exam in time, right? We really need to work hard on this speed part. Let's do some more practice question. David is an interstate truck driver subject to Department of Transportation hour of service but is not an employee. In 2021, what percentage of his meal can be deducted while working as an interstate truck driver? Meal allowance.
80%.
1 second. So this was that 2% which we were discussing earlier. Yeah, here it is. Department of Transportation, hour of service, percentage limit is 80%. Got it?
Yes,
So how much
sir.
is it?
80%.
Right? Next is M quit her biology research job in August. In August 2020 to become a full-time biology graduate student. She completed the graduate program in August 2021 and immediately took the job with different employer as a biology researcher. Which of the following statement is correct with respect to deducting the cost of her education? So she started her graduation in August 2020 and completed in August 21. So which statement is correct with respect to deducting cost of her education? It is deductible as qualifying work-related education only if M returned to her former employer. It is deductible as a qualifying work-related education only if M does not return to her former employer. It is not deductible as a qualifying work-related education since it is a miscellaneous itemized deduction, or it is deductible as a qualifying work-related education whether M return to former employer or take the job with the new employer. Which statement is correct?
So option 4 लग रहा है क्योंकि because she can claim either the AOTC or the LTC.
Sorry, that's incorrect. It is not deductible as a qualified work-related education since it is a miscellaneous itemized deduction. And miscellaneous itemized deduction is 2% of only for the armed force, qualified performing artist, free basis of state board and official, and employees with impairment related work. So these are the only 4 categories allowed under the 2% category. A taxpayer is a cash basis taxpayer. During the year, he paid the following medical expenses for himself and his daughter Joanna, whom he claims as dependent for the tax return. Okay, so $310 for glasses for Joanna and $290 for himself, $650 for a dental root canal procedure for him, $900 for hospital emergency, for which $700 was paid by the insurance in same year, $1,250 for Johanna braces, which he has charged to the credit card in December and paid in January, $500 for prescription for allergy, and $2,200 cosmetic plastic surgery. The taxpayer medical expense deduction before the limitation will be how much? So you need to do the math here. Let's look at. So
option 2 लग रहा है.
So let's go one by one. So glasses are allowed or not allowed? Huh? How much is it?
Allowed, sir, allowed.
600. Then root canal is also allowed, 650.
Allowed.
And then 900 hospital emergency minus 700, right? That will be 200 because 700 recover from the insurance. Braces 1250, which is charged to 1250. That is also allowed. 500 prescriptions. Huh?
Sir, braces ये जो है 1250 is not allowed.
Why?
Because taxpayer is a cash basis taxpayer, and in this question, she paid January in the next year.
Yeah, no, good observation, Sachin. But like we studied in last point also, payment include cash, debit card, credit card, as and when you are paying to the party who is giving you the product, right? When you make settlement to the bank, it has nothing to do with it. Similarly, you are taking loan from bank, but you are paying for the medical expenses. So you have paid to the medical expenses, even though you have taken that on a loan. What is credit card? It's a loan basically, but you have taken a loan from bank, but you have paid to the medical expert practitioner.
Cosmetic nahi aayegi.
Okay, sir.
500 is this, and cosmetic surgery will not come, right? So how much is the total? Can someone do the math for me? $3,200. Is this right to say 3,200?
Yes, it's correct.
Yes, sir.
Right? Everyone agree?
Yes,
This,
sir.
any
Yes,
doubt
sir.
on this 1250? Sachin sir?
Agree, sir, agree.
Okay, let's do it. John and Robert have total wages of 95,000 plus interest income of 3,000 and dividend 2,000. Assume these are non-qualified dividend. They paid mortgage interest of 7,000. Assume indebtedness does not have more than $750,000. Car loan interest 2,000. Mobile home interest of 4,000. Personal loan interest 1,000 and margin interest 6,000. How much interest can John and Robert deduct on Schedule A? What is the call of the question? What is the call of the question? How much interest can John and Robert deduct in Schedule A? Right? So first thing, interest income. How much is the interest income they have?
3,000.
3,000. How much is the dividend?
2,000.
Right? This is your income. Assume these are non-qualified dividends, right? So that what is non-qualified dividend? That means you have not borrowed any money to purchase those assets for which you have generated the income, right? So they paid a mortgage interest of $7,000. How much? $7,000 they have paid. Assume the indebtedness does not exceed $750,000. $750,000 is for the home mortgage interest, right? Car loan interest is how much? 2,000. Is car loan interest is allowed?
No.
Right? Then mobile home interest of $4,000. What is mobile home interest?
So mobile home, like personal home,
How about others?
like it is not deductible, right?
But what is mobile home?
So it's like a moving
Second
home,
home.
like
Huh?
what you call
Your
Second
truck
home.
in or maybe your truck, huh? Or maybe your yacht, right? Or maybe your jet. So that will also not allow. How much is it?
$4,000.
And then you have personal loan interest. Will that allowed?
no.
No, sir.
How much? 1,000. Then you have margin interest of 6,000. What is margin interest of 6,000?
Margin is like the expenses which are incurred to obtain the loan.
Say that again.
So like जो expenses होते हैं लोन को acquire करने के is allowed.
Allowed है? Margin interest, is it allowed?
सर इसका मीनिंग बताएंगे सर आप जरा, मार्जिन इंटरेस्ट?
One second. Margin interest is a cost of borrowing money from your broker to invest in stock, bonds, and other assets you can afford. You can deduct margin interest from your tax by itemizing your deduction and subtracting the margin interest cost from your net investment. So this is basically the loan you have taken to purchase the investment and interest on that. So this is allowed.
Okay, sir.
Right. So what all interest are being allowed? how much interest can John and Robert deduct? Interest income is 3,000. Dividend is not qualified. Interest expense 7,000 is on what? Mortgage. This is allowed, right? So this 7,000 is allowed interest. Car interest is not allowed, mobile is not allowed, personal is not allowed, but this margin is allowed, right? Yes. Shubham?
Yes, sir.
Makes sense? Any other interest you feel is allowed? So John and Robert has total wages of this much amount and interest income of 3,000 and dividend 2,000. Assume these are non-qualified dividend. So dividend is not qualified, but interest income you have is 3,000. So interest income is 3,000 and the margin interest is 6,000. So maximum you can allow that is 3,000, right? And then home mortgage interest you have 4,000.
सर आई थिंक जो हमारी इंटरेस्ट इनकम है और ये जो मोबाइल होम इंटरेस्ट है इसका भी तो डिडक्शन ले सकते हैं ऑप्शन
Say that again.
सर ये जो इंटरेस्ट इनकम है 3,000 की और ये हमारा मोबाइल होम इंटरेस्ट है जो 4,000 इन दोनों के ऊपर भी तो सर डिडक्शन ले सकते हैं
Let me see what is this.
ऑप्शन 4 आई थिंक
Let's see.
तो इट्स लाइक वो होता नहीं जैसे चलता फिरता होता है ऐसे स्वदेश मूवी में होता है
I know. So you're saying we can consider this 3,000, 4,000. But then this margin interest should be maximum up to 3,000, isn't it? Let's go with this 13 and see. So 16,000, but how is it coming? So mortgage 7,000, mobile home interest 4,000, interest on their margin account for 5,000, which is equal to the investment income for the couple. Interest income 3,000 plus dividend 2,000. So dividend, it's mentioned that not qualified dividend. So it's maximum 5,000. So if you see, we have got it this 7,000, which was on their home loan interest, 4,000 on their mobile home interest, and then 6,000, but maximum is maximum of this is 3,000 plus 2,000, which is like income. So 5,000 plus this 4,000 and this 7,000. That's how this 16,000 came. Right, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, so last question. Bethany and Michael are itemizing their Schedule E expense on their tax year 2021. Michael traveled to Japan for his employer, but was not reimbursed. His meal expense total was $500. How much can Michael deduct the meal expense? This is a business meal. We can deduct 100% or not. Subject to 50% limitation, tax relief act December allowed 100% deductibility of the qualified business. Right? Make sense? How much is it allowed? 50% or 100%? Are you guys here?
100%.
100%, sir.
100%? How much is 100%?
$500.
$500.
कमाल हो गया.
That's incorrect. Let's understand. In 2018, the taxpayer can no longer claim the deduction for unreimbursement employee expenses unless they fall into one of the following category of the employment or have any qualified educator expenses. Only for these categories it's being allowed. Other than that is not allowed. So it is 0. Cool. So I think you guys need to do more practice and revision. Why you guys